Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. So on my blog, I share how I made my fortune in real estate, starting at 19 years old, millionaire by 28. And that was a long time ago. That was like 30, 39, almost 40 years ago since I started. The way I made my millions in property is one little deal at a time, and that's what I do best. I'm a real estate investor. Don't really pretend to know much more than that. Of course, I've been involved with other businesses and things along the way. But what I know best is real estate, and I share with you how I did it. I have a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. You can see it right there. It's been a bestseller on Amazon and Kindle. It's a pretty quick read, and I recommend you get it. It's like $10 on Kindle, $20 on paperback. And for all the snake oil that's out there, you know what? This is a really cheap way to stick your toe into real estate, and you'll get a lot of information. Read the reviews on it. I think you'll be very happy. So look, today we're going to talk about Grant Cardone. Now, I've been critical of Grant Cardone in the past, and but he's got this video he just put out, the truth about quitting. So we're gonna get in and take a look at that next. All right, so I've got the video here ready to go. We'll go ahead and get this thing going. Grant Cardone, 62 years old. I've been critical about him in the past. I don't like his investment stuff at all. And I don't like that he asks people for money. Now, I don't mind selling a course or selling a book or this or that if there's value there. And really, buyer beware on that. You got to do your due diligence on anything that you're going to buy. If you're going to spend money, you can't really take anybody's word for anything. It's foolish to. Anybody that stands to get a commission, that sort of thing. So I'm critical of people that don't get to the damn point. And a lot of times when they say links below, because it stinks below, many times. Hate to say it, but it's true. So look, we're going to watch this video he just released, The Truth About Quitting. Just see where it goes.
And Cardone here, I want to talk to you about quitting. If you're thinking about quitting, I know I have many times on many projects, many things I've been involved with in my career, whether it was writing a book, doing a gig, my first business, my second business. Look, before you quit, I want you to hear something. This is 35 years, maybe longer, maybe since I was like 20, 42 years. Just finished eating dinner, sorry about that. 42 years since I was 20, I've been having to hang in there, push through, and sometimes quitting, sometimes not. I just want to tell you before you quit, maybe you're on a project right now, you're on a job, you're starting a business, maybe you're looking at something to invest in, or you're trying to get something going, maybe it's a relationship. Before you quit, I want you to hear two things about quitting that I've learned. And look, I'm telling you, like, I don't want to tell you.
All right, I'm going to fast forward there just a little bit. You know, I know you can keep up. It's not that, he doesn't talk that fast. So, actually I had it going 1.5 speed already. Well, let's go 1 3/4 speed. Let's keep watching.
I have some end-all solution here, but I can tell you one thing I know for sure about quitting, except for my drug addiction, which I quit when I was 25. And I tried to quit that deal since I was 15. 10 years I tried to quit every day. I'm not talking about that kind of quitting. Look, if it's bad for you, if it's hurting you, if it's damaging your life, your physical condition, like, you got to figure out how to quit those things. But I'm talking about the projects you're on in your life, or the relationship you're in, or the business idea that you have, or a job.
Okay, I'm going to speak to that right away. Because look, you could be in a relationship that you'd be better off quitting. You could be in a project that you'd be better off quitting. Listen, if you keep doing the wrong thing, you're going to get the same result, right? You're not going to make any money. You're not going to get a great relationship. A lot of times, quitting does make sense. And I don't want to argue this from the very beginning, but it's true. I don't know where he's going with this, and of course, I'm always suspect. Number one thing I tell anybody to do, and not everybody's geared for it, but you get called the devil's advocate. You have an idea, you want to do something. You got to get other perspective, right? I have owned different companies, and I can tell you sometimes when I price a product, I price the product for as much as I can possibly get, and where I can still sell as much as possible and make as high a profit as possible, right? So I get perspective on that, because I might think it's only worth $50, but somebody might think it's worth $200, right? And so it's important to get feedback because you don't always know what the right decision is. Let's keep going with this.
Maybe you're just stagnated at a job and you don't know where to go. You're like, I'm going to bail out of here, rather than thinking about how to get to the next level. Before you quit, you need to know these two things about quitting that I promise you are true. whether you're male, female, young, old, regardless of where you live, how you work, what you do, what your profession is, whether you got money or don't have money, there's two things. There's two things that are so true about quitting. Before you quit, you need to remember this. Number one, quitting a project before you see it all the way through. Maybe it fails, by the way. I'm talking about taking it all the way through till you find out if it failed or succeeded. Quitting a project, number one, you will always regret. Later looking back and saying, I wonder if, what if I'd have stuck with it a little bit longer? Number one, you will always regret it. And number two, truth.
Okay, look, true, you can have regrets. Okay, if you quit too early, if you don't try hard enough, I mean, obviously, you can regret that. If you're an entrepreneur, we have a thing called don't throw good money after bad, right? Don't throw good money after bad. Now, you gotta spend a little money to make money, right? And you got to spend money to test. I get people coming to me all the time that say, hey, I got this great idea, because I'm an inventor, and I have some other things going besides being a good real estate investor like I've done my whole life. What I tell people is, look, go test the waters, right? You think you got a great idea? Go test the waters. You got to go out there and see if anybody wants it, okay? Now, it costs money to stick it out there and to see if somebody wants it. You get that perspective back, and you might find out, hey, nobody wants it. They don't like it. It's not a good idea. And it's really dangerous for guys like me that have money, because, and Grant or other people that have money, because we can get something that we think is a good idea, but if we don't get enough perspective and feedback from others, we have a budget. We can keep throwing money. We can keep throwing good money after bad. But you can't do that when you're, like what Grant says, is a little guy, meaning somebody that has less money or not, limited funds, right? We all do to some degree, right? In other words, you can throw a lot of money after a bad idea, okay? I've done it. Now, thank God I've got a vehicle called real estate that allows me to have fed that habit. But I've learned, don't know what other people want, so you have to get other people's opinions when it comes to a product or service and that sort of thing. And same with a relationship. You can be in a bad relationship. Everybody knows that, right? You could be, could somebody have an alcohol problem or drug problem. He talked about having a drug problem. I'm sure he wasn't a prince to be around when he had that problem, and somebody probably wanted to get away. I don't know. But that's the kind of thing. Sometimes you got to quit. You got to quit people. You got to quit, negative people. Number one, worst thing ever, being around naysayers, right? They're the worst. But let's keep watching.
You know what it is. When you quit, the problem with quitting is, one, the regrets, and number two, you got to start over from scratch again. You got to start all over. So maybe you've been on a project a week, a month, maybe longer, 6 months or a year. Just remember, when you quit, after that period of time, you got to start over from zero. Think about it. You got to start over in a whole new job, a whole new idea, a whole new project with a whole new group of people. Maybe that'll be good for you, but you're starting over again. So, one, you're going to have regrets. Guarantee you that it's impossible. If you don't see it all the way through, it's impossible that you will not have regrets.
Yeah, listen, seeing something through could be going, okay, this ain't working. Just because you quit doesn't mean you could keep throwing good money after bad. He's selling motivation. It sounds like this is going to something. And listen, I want to say right now, I'm not a fan of Grant Cardone. His investing, I don't believe investing with him is a good idea. But I will say this about Grant Cardone. He is a gifted speaker. He is a really gifted speaker and a great salesman. He is. He's a good salesman and a gifted speaker. Don't even know about his 10 times stuff. He's been a little bit ambiguous and not necessarily consistent in what 10 times means, from what I understand and from things that I've seen. The books that he's written, and I haven't read any of them, they sell well. I think if he motivates people into, pushing their business or seeing their ideas through, hey, more power to him. Now, that's where I draw the line. I don't believe in his investing. I have looked at what I've seen. I haven't liked any of what I've seen. And I've seen him kind of have a little meltdown when this crisis happened that we had. It was a bit ugly. In fact, here, I got that right here. Let's just play that for a second.
You got a good attitude, and you ain't a little bitch. You ain't a little baby. You ain't crybaby. You ain't stupid baby. You ain't dumb. Yeah, I need my money. I got to buy a Rolex.
So, look, that was kind of an ugly part of Grant Cardone that I did not like. And that was my first impression of him. To be honest, that's the first video I ever watched. And I made a video on that went pretty viral. Everybody makes a mistake. You've been on, look, you're on camera enough. You're going to blow it. You're going to, say something you regret. And I think he probably does regret saying that, I think. Let's just keep watching.
Because you won't know whether or not you would have made it. Two, you got to start over from scratch with some new project. What else are you going to do? And I want to just throw in a third little bonus for you about quitting. If you're thinking about it, because, man, I wish I'd had somebody, a mentor at my side through my life, encouraging me to move forward. Mostly what I have is a bunch of carcasses around me. You see that old horse head or cattle head or whatever the hell that is? Or that statue behind me that's doing nothing, okay, piece of art. That's like most of my friends were either like that carcass down there or like that piece of art until I started getting the right mentors in mind. I didn't have anybody to encourage me. In fact, most of the people in my life tell me, yeah, dude, quit. What do you got to lose? Life is too short, man. Life is to be enjoyed. If you don't like it, don't do it. I hear it all the time. I see it on the internet everywhere. I have learned in my life how to stick with it. Like one of the great traits. If you study Jordan, LeBron, Brady, Oprah, like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, study these great people. Always get ready to rain out here. So the rain wants me to quit, but I'm not. Because I know if I do, I just got to start over again. Then I have regrets about having to start over again.
I'm going to just say, in perspective, I understand where he's going. Look, Oprah didn't quit. She, whatever. Actors try. They keep auditioning. Finally, they get that audition that gets them their big break. But keep it in perspective. You could be doing the wrong thing. A friend of mine, he is a multimillionaire, and he got into a sprinkler business. I said, what are you getting in the sprinkler business for? I said, you're buying a business that is filled with really limited skilled people. And so you've got a ton of competition, right? I mean, if you go low skill, everybody can compete with you pretty much. And he ended up regretting it. He bought it and he threw good money after bad. He kept pushing, trying to, he has a budget. He kept throwing money after it until he lost enough money. He said, the hell with this. And sometimes you got to know when to. Don't throw good money after bad. Don't throw effort after bad. And that's one of the reasons I tell people, look, trust in yourself. Like I said, I'll point you to my book again. There's my book right there. Wake up and smell the real estate. A lot of people get screwed and taken advantage of in hopes of making money, and they'll throw $5,000, $10,000, $1,000 at some crazy course and they're taking the word from somebody because they're a good salesman, not because they know what they're doing. That's a mistake. Always check credentials, folks. Always. There should be testimonials. There should be people that they just got to be able to back it up, right? And that's why I think my skill set is so good for people that are new and starting in real estate, because I'm doing the same thing I did when I was 19. I buy buildings that are $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, $2 million. I mean, of course they get bigger as as my wealth has grown, but it's the same thing. It's achievable. I still buy the kind of assets. I don't say I'm going to buy a 10,000 square or a 10,000 unit apartment building or a 1,000 unit apartment building, something that is beyond the scope of others. And then and look for others people. I don't want your money. Hold your own money. Take responsibility for your own money. Invest your own money, and you'll be a much, much savvier investor, and you'll do much better. So let's watch some more, Grant.
If you don't quit, check it out. If you don't quit and you apply the right amount of action, I promise you, you will succeed. It's a guarantee. I'm giving you a guaranteed promise right now. You just need somebody in your corner pushing you forward. Say, don't quit. Hopefully this video hits you right smack dab in the face right now in your heart, right where you need to hear it at the right time. If it is, man, let me know. Let me know below. If you disagree with me, let me know below. I would like to mentor you through this time, this moment, this challenge, this pivotal, this literally, it is when I have not quit in my life that I literally, the miracle was days away, hours away, sometimes weeks. But it comes if you don't quit. Just get somebody other than a carcass or a statue. Look, we all been blessed. I say this all the time. Everybody's been blessed. I've never met a person that wasn't blessed with something they had, something special they had, from some power greater than ourselves, some God, something, universe, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in. You're not going to see the blessings. You're not going to realize the blessings. You're not going to get the awards and rewards of the blessing. You're not going to get the validation and the acknowledgement.
Just to this point, you got to take action, okay? A lot of people, it's like not just quit, it's get started, right? It's get started. You got to get started doing something. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result, that's what they say. There's a saying that's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Listen, you got to change things up. You got to take action. If you get a skill set, right? I got 4 kids. I tell my kids, get some skills, learn how to make some money. And then once you start making some money, you can start looking at other skills and change paths. It's okay to change paths and not necessarily start over, right? So if you're really in a dead-end job, start over, right? Go do something else. If you're miserable, start over. That's a blessing to start over. It's not necessarily terrible to start over, but it's horrible to expend time and waste 10 years of your life. And that's why I'm so critical of some of the investments that I've seen Grant offer and others like Chris Cardone. That seed capital is so important because if you take responsibility for your money and you invest it right, you'll be smooth sailing forever, right? You really can be on a great roll. You can make a lot of money or you can make a whole lot of money, right? But you have to do something. You got to take action. I just want to keep things in perspective. I'm not sure exactly where he's going with. I think, look, persistence is super important. I mean, get something going. Take action. Do something, of course, but do your due diligence. Don't get into something stupid and then throw your money at something for years, and then all of a sudden you wasted time. That's why I'm so critical of some of these investments, because they take away a person's youth and they take away a person's capital. And I mean, that's where you start. You have youth, energy, and you have capital. Whatever little capital you got to keep parlaying it into more and more and more. Double it, redouble it, over and over. That's where you go with that. So anyhow, let's keep watching Grant here.
Sense of pride if you quit. What comes with quitting is regrets. You got to start over.
Not always.
No payoff there. So if this is hitting you at a time where you need to hear it, man, let me know. Share it with somebody. If you would like to have somebody in your court, mentoring you, guiding you, pushing you, supporting you, cheering you on, saying, no, not yet. Don't quit yet. Let's figure out how to make it work. Let's figure out how to make it big. Let's figure out how to turn the corner now and take this moment of, I'm on a project right now. It has been 75% of the time I have wanted to quit. 75% of the time that I've been on this project, I have wanted to say, done, I'm done, I'm out of here. And I can tell myself, if you do that, you're going to regret it. 2, you have to start over. 3, bro, you just hanging in there, diggity dog, talking to myself.
No, you might not regret it.
Mentors in my head that I can tap into, guys I can call. Hey, what do you think? Bro, you this far? See it through. See it through. See it through. See it through. Successful, super successful people around me that I go to for mentorship and guidance and direction and motivation. Don't be so proud that you can't surround yourself with some killers, not a carcass.
Yeah, listen, and don't be so proud that you don't use your common sense. It's good, like you say, you get perspective, right? It's good to have a little mastermind group or whatever you want to refer to, people that give you input, but you got to listen to them, right? And again, I'm taking a counter perspective of this, but of course, don't quit. I mean, listen, you got to see things through. You got to have a good idea to start with. You got to have a good plan. Listen, I tell my kids all the time, a good life is by design. A good life is by design. It's so important that you design your good life, okay? And if you have a bad plan, then you better change plans, okay? We'll let Grant finish, and then we'll review this real quick.
It's never done anything. Not a piece of art that might be pretty and people might like it, but it doesn't move. It doesn't change. It doesn't grow. Let me know if I can mentor you, okay? I'm looking at starting a mentor group where one of the things we do there is see you through to the end. With you, me and my team with you. A bunch of killers around me that work with me, that implement our strategies, and we're all like a damn military operation. Say, don't quit, not yet. Whether it's working out, taking care of yourself, getting in the best shape of your life, building a company, starting another company, fixing your marriage, going through a lawsuit. I've done all this stuff, man. Starting a real estate business, like whatever you want to do. You want to see a book through. You want to get the book sold. You want to make the New York Times bestseller list. You want to do a TV show. Whatever it is you want to do. Maybe you're an artist and you want to get your art out, but you're like, I got to quit, man. They're not paying me. No, you need to rework your strategy. You need to recommit, rework your strategy, get some people around you that can get you to the next level. Regardless of whether you let me mentor or you want to join this mentor program, you want to be part of something bigger than just yourself, by yourself. Regardless, remember this message every time you go to quit. Remember this. You will regret it. 2, you starting over. 3, if you'd have just hung in there, you'd have busted this thing in the ass. Because if you don't quit, and I promise you this is true, if you don't quit and apply the right strategies and get the right support, you cannot fail. Thanks for watching.
So I'm going to say this. This is the first time I've seen Grant not ask for your money, okay? Really. Every time, everything usually concludes with, I'll never let you down at Cardone Capital. Trust me with your money. I'll never let you down. He's always asking for money. It's different. He said he was thinking about starting a mentor thing, and then he's saying, come on. So it doesn't sound like he's got a mentor thing yet. He's just testing the waters, I guess. He's a gifted salesman. He's a gifted motivator. I think he is a good motivator. Go check it out. But I'm telling you, if that mastermind group he's talking about is hard salesman trying to sell you on some other deal, then you know what? Caution is all I'm going to say. Be very, very careful, because that's usually where all this stuff goes to. Come on in, get the free class, and then boy, that's where the screws come to you. I'm not even talking about him particularly. I've heard some bad things about Grant. I've heard that he's put people on his stage and kind of mortified some young man into signing a check on stage, and I don't like that sort of thing. I don't, and I don't like the way he talks to people. And the video that I just played you a little clip of earlier, I don't like that stuff. And that sometimes those little moments reveal the true character of the person you're dealing with, and you got to pay attention to that stuff. And I'm not saying he's all bad. I think, like I said, he's obviously he's an author and he's a motivator. But again, there's limitations to what people are good at, and sometimes you can talk yourself into a bad idea and 1,000 people with you. That's just kind of how it goes. That's the curse of being a really good salesman, and I'm a good salesman too. You can talk people into believing what you believe, and you may be wrong, and that can happen. A couple things that I made a note of earlier. Okay. So look, number one, get feedback, right? Get feedback. Hopefully you can handle the devil's advocate, people being critical of your ideas, right? It's okay to have naysayers and stuff like that, as long as you take what they say with a grain of salt and just go, yeah, I'm listening. Listen, I love it when people try to shoot my ideas down, because if I can discern, that they're really valuable, if I can beat them out in the argument of why what they're saying doesn't make sense, but it's good. Sometimes they hit home with something like, ooh, boy, that one hurt. You're right. I got to consider that. It's very important to be able to take feedback, okay? You got to take criticism, okay? And, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's legitimate, sometimes it's not so legitimate. I'm always critical with people about what I know. So I'm not going to say, hey, everything's a great idea and be your cheerleader. And, so you got to be careful. You just want somebody to say, hey, attaboy, good job, whether it's a good job or not. I mean, that's just silly. You're going to defeat yourself. You're not going to get anywhere with that kind of a mentor either. So like I say, so number 4, pick your mentors really well. Number 3, don't throw good money after bad. And at some point, sometimes you got to say, this is not going well. I can do better. And like I say, don't be the sucker in the room, right? You don't be the sucker in the room. A lot of times people don't realize, if you don't know who the sucker is, it's you, okay? Not every idea is good. I've had a lot of bad ideas, and I test the waters, go, oh yeah, that's not going to work. So it's kind of nice to see him actually not ask for money, not ask for people to invest in his deal. But maybe that's coming when you call. I don't know. But that's bait and switch, and I'm not saying he's doing that. Like I said, it's kind of refreshing to see him doing what he's doing. If you don't have my book, folks, get my book. Get my book. It's $10. If you're gonna get screwed and out of some money, let it be only $10 or $20 in paperback. Get it at Amazon and Kindle. I've been in business a long time. I don't make my money off of other people. I make my money in real estate, buying and selling property. I've been doing it for a very long time. If you got an interest in that, you'll love my book. I don't care if you've been doing this for 30, 40 years. You can still learn from me. You can still learn from me. You can't buy property every year for nearly 40 years and not have a lot of unique lessons that other people don't have. I know because I've done it. Please hit subscribe, and follow me. I'd appreciate it. It helps the videos. If you like the content you're seeing, I'd appreciate it. Thanks a lot.